Every Tuesday at 10 a.m., 14 people filed into Conference Room B. They sat in the same seats. They opened the same laptops. And for exactly 1 hour, nothing happened. No decisions were made. No actions were assigned. No one left the room knowing something they didn't know walking in. The agenda was a list of topics. The topics were a list of updates. The updates were things everyone had already read in an email the night before. Everyone knew this meeting was pointless. It was the most openly acknowledged waste of time in the entire company. People joked about it in Slack. They complained about it at lunch. They rolled their eyes when the calendar reminder appeared. And yet, every Tuesday at 10 a.m., 14 people sat down. For 3 years. The question everyone asked was, why can't we just cancel this meeting? But the right question, the one nobody thought to ask, was, who does this meeting serve? The meeting was run by a middle manager named Greg. He'd started it when his team was 4 people, and they genuinely needed a weekly sync. By year 3, the team had grown to 14 across 3 departments. The meeting had grown with it. Same slot, same format, more chairs. But here's what nobody outside the room understood. Greg's meeting wasn't about alignment. It was about access. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m., Greg was the only person in the company who had all 3 department leads in one room, listening to him set the agenda. He controlled what was discussed and what wasn't. He controlled the order of topics, which meant he controlled what got attention and what got buried in any other business at minute 53. He controlled the summary email that went to leadership after each meeting. That email was the only version of reality that traveled upward. The meeting wasn't broken. The meeting was a machine, and Greg was the only person who knew what it was built to do. Then a new hire named Priya joined the product team. She was sharp, efficient, and had no patience for theater. In her second week, she asked the question out loud in a Slack channel. Does anyone actually need this Tuesday meeting? Could we replace it with an async update? The message got 47 thumbs up. Not just from the 14 people in the meeting, but from everyone across the company who'd ever lost a colleague to that Tuesday hour, or sat through the summary email wondering why it existed. 3 people replied, "Thank you for saying this." The head of engineering wrote, "I've been wanting to kill this meeting for a year." Greg saw the thread. He didn't reply. Instead, he sent a private message to his director. "I'm concerned about Priya's suggestion. If we move to async, we'll lose cross-functional alignment and accountability." He offered to restructure the meeting format as a compromise. The meeting was not canceled, it was improved. A new agenda template was introduced. A rotating facilitator role was added. The time was reduced from 60 minutes to 45. Everyone agreed this was progress. Nothing changed. The same 14 people sat in the same room. Greg still controlled the agenda. Greg still wrote the summary. The meeting was 15 minutes shorter and exactly as pointless. But now it had a template, so it looked like someone had fixed it. The frogs lived in a swamp and had no ruler. They were free, but disorganized. So they sent a petition to Zeus, "Give us a king." Zeus, amused, threw a log into the swamp. It landed with a great splash. The frogs were terrified, then curious, then disappointed. The log floated. It did nothing. It ruled nothing. It simply sat there, taking up space. The frogs complained again. "This is not a king. This is a waste of our time. Send us a real ruler." So Zeus sent a stork. The stork waded into the swamp with long, deliberate steps and began eating the frogs one by one. The moral is usually told as, be careful what you wish for. But that's only the surface reading. Here's what it misses. The interesting question isn't why Zeus sent a stork, it's why the frogs didn't notice that the log was protecting them. The log was inert, the log was boring, the log did nothing. But while the log sat there, no stork came. The swamp was safe, not because the log was a good king, but because it occupied the space where a dangerous one could have stood. Greg's meeting was the log. 6 months after the improvement, Priya tried again. This time, she had data. Attendance rates, action items generated, time cost analysis. She presented a case to leadership. The meeting was canceled. Everyone celebrated. Slack erupted with party emojis. The product team posted a meme, a gravestone that read, Tuesday, 10 a.m., finally at rest. 14 people got an hour of their week back. Within a month, 3 things broke. First, the 3 department leads stopped talking to each other. Not out of hostility, out of logistics. There was no longer a weekly moment where they were all in the same room. Emails replaced conversations. Emails were slower, colder, and easier to ignore. Second, small conflicts that used to get resolved in the margins of the meeting, the 2-minute sidebar, the "can we talk about this after?" now had nowhere to live. They escalated. A disagreement about a product timeline that would have been settled over a shared coffee in the hallway outside Conference Room B became a 3-week email chain that required VP intervention. Third, and this is the one that mattered most, Greg lost his information monopoly. So he built a new one. He started scheduling one-on-one meetings with each department lead. 3 private meetings a week, instead of 1 shared one. The information still flowed through Greg, but now nobody else could see it. The frogs killed the log. The stork arrived. Priya wasn't wrong. The meeting was a waste of time. Her data was correct. Her instinct was right. But she solved the wrong problem. She optimized for efficiency when the real issue was power. The meeting didn't need to be canceled. It needed to be understood. Why did it exist? What function did it serve beyond its stated purpose? Whose position depended on it? If you don't answer those questions before you kill the meeting, you don't eliminate the dysfunction, you just scatter it. There's a concept in systems thinking called the Chesterton fence. Before you tear down a fence, you must first understand why it was built. If you can't explain why it exists, you don't have the knowledge to safely remove it. Every recurring meeting, every legacy process, every pointless ritual you want to kill, someone built it for a reason. And the reason is almost never the one on the calendar invite. Before you tear it down, ask what it's holding in place. Because the thing that replaces it might not send you a calendar invite at all. Greg's meeting was a Chesterton fence. It looked like a pointless ritual. It functioned as an information choke point. Removing it without understanding that function didn't create transparency. It created 3 private channels where there had been 1 shared one. Here's the second pattern. In most organizations, the people who complain loudest about meetings are rarely the people those meetings serve. The meeting's beneficiary is usually the person who says the least, or the person who controls the follow-up. Ask yourself this. In your organization, who writes the meeting summary? And does the summary match what actually happened in the room? If you've never checked, you might be living inside someone else's narrative without knowing it. The frogs wanted a better king. What they needed was to understand why the log was there. The meeting that should have been an email might be protecting you from something worse than boredom. Before you kill it, ask what it's holding in place. Next time you're in a meeting that feels pointless, don't ask why it exists. Ask who it serves. The answer will tell you more about your organization than any org chart ever could. An old fable warns us to be careful what we wish for. A modern allegory asks, what was the thing you destroyed actually protecting you from?